So citizenship means different things to different people, but I think it's easiest to see it or to understand it as really two basic ideas. So one is about legal status. So citizenship is a legal status that you have that demonstrates that you're not a foreigner and that you have certain obligations and rights towards the state in the country where you're living. But the other is a more general set of social relations. So it's about a feeling of belonging and of membership in a society. Well, Hannah Arendt famously said that citizenship was the right to have rights, and I think that broadly speaking she was right. The problem with the regimes of rights that we have at the moment is that in order to be able to exercise them, you have to be a citizen of somewhere, because it's always a state, a government, that actually supports those rights. It might not be the state in which you're living. So most famously, obviously, refugees, people who have come from abroad, can move to another state and claim the right to be a refugee. And that's one reason why refugees are very important in rights regimes, because they represent the fact that a person who is not a member of a state can have rights and can have access to a certain kind of justice. As we've seen, actually in practice those rights are increasingly being eroded, and that very often it's the stateless, people like the Rohingya most obviously, very often it's people who don't have citizenship, who find it difficult to exercise their human rights. So if you think about the case of undocumented migrants, for example, which state is going to come in and demand the respect for their human rights? So citizenship is an important way of ensuring access to rights, and precisely that's also the challenge of its limitation. But there's another way in which citizenship matters in terms of justice, which is a more Republican idea of citizenship. So by Republican idea of citizenship, I mean the idea that actually groups of people get together and create a community of people that then makes demands on the state and equally can demand to be protected from arbitrary authority, which can be actually an authority which is imposed by a state authority. So citizenship can be made by groups of people working together and challenging the regime in which they find themselves entangled. So from that point of view, I think it has potentially also a more dynamic relation to justice. So not simply about making requests to an authority to be kind, to recognise me, but actually working with others to make demands, in some ways to become unruly subjects in order to call for a more just society.